Gleno, how good is it to be back on the road?
Mate, this has been way too long in between drinks. Looking forward to it. Now, where are you taking me?
Oh, you know how it is. I know you like a bit of adventure when it comes to exploring the country. So I got something fairly different off-road wise in mind for you.
Yes, I do love new places, discovering, but you've got me stumped on this one.
Well, yes, stumped, humped, yeah, there's a word in there somewhere, mate. We'll get there.
I just hope the suspension is reinforced under these things.
Isn't this beautiful? Here we are at Summer Land Camel Farm, and we're only an hour out of Brisbane. We're going for a sunrise ride on camels. Just awesome. I'm up the front on Henry. He's a good old fella, and right down the back, Gleno's on Frankie. And what can I say? Frankie's a strong camel.
The camel ride was really cool. It was about an hour we were on the camels. We did the perimeter of the whole property, massive property, luscious property, beautiful. And I was ready to go to the toilet by the time I got off because I'd thrown down about 3 coffees that morning.
I tell you what, camel rides are funny things, you know. Getting on and off is the big deal. And every time I've been on a camel ride, it's involved getting on the camel while it's on the ground, which kind of means climbing over the thing, legs akimbo all over the place. Then you've got to sit there while it takes a lift up into the air. It's probably the most unnatural feeling on earth. Getting off is very similar. But this time around, it was just climb on, climb off. They had it all built up.
See if I can do this, and my legs are going to work. Oh!
Need a hand on
I probably will, yeah. Cheers.
I nearly fell asleep halfway through the camel ride. That sort of motion like this, you know, it's fantastic. And I'll tell you what, they take all sizes and weights, these camels, don't they? Hey?
A lot of respect for those camels.
Oh, they're strong.
Oh no, give me some camel bacon or something now. Do they do eggs? On this trip, we're going to showcase a type of exploring you can do close to a capital city. Staying within 3 hours of Brisbane, we'll start in Harrisville and meander in a northerly direction, taking the backtracks between some of the best campsites you can imagine. To think after all these years, there's still so many tracks we haven't ventured down.
What do we got here, Paul?
Mate, well, this is some of the camel products we make. So
Yeah.
we certainly got cheese, we've got a camel burger here. We've got some silverside and some ham that we make out of camel. So,
When can I start?
mate, I think we hook in.
Paul has been part of the Summer Land Camel since it began 5 years ago. He is the CEO and is passionate about sustainable agriculture and getting the word out about how good camel products are for you.
Let's try a bit of this ham.
That's beautiful.
How good's that?
Oh wow, this is really good.
So the fetta's won prize, like gold medals all around Australia for that.
Feta has?
Yep.
Is that camel milk in our coffees?
Yep, camel milk, everything's camel here. We can't claim the eggs.
Kind of glad to
All the
hear that.
tomatoes, yeah.
If I wasn't told it was camel meat, I would never have known. I would have think I was just eating beef.
It's very light meat, isn't it?
It's just a bit sweeter than beef. But you know, if you didn't, no one told you, you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
You wouldn't. It's very highly, particularly out of the wild, more so than farm. Because they're a browse animal, they're eating leaves off trees, so they're being deep-rooted plants. They're very mineralised, so they get a lot of
nutrients.
full of nutrients. So hello.
Hello, mate.
He heard the breakfast bell go.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
So this gelato, everything else about camels has been healthy,
Yeah.
and here we got
Definitely.
sweets.
Yeah.
Healthy?
Definitely healthy, definitely. So camel milk is the only mammal milk on the planet that people with dairy allergies can have. So
Far out.
yeah,
Is that right?
so it's you don't get any mucus response from eating it. So you basically get the full flavour.
Yeah.
So the flavours will come through really strong.
Chocolate, berry, Gleno's favourite, salted caramel.
Yeah.
And this one's,
Macadamia and honey. Yeah. What do you reckon?
oh, tough job, that's what I reckon.
What do you reckon, Glenn? You're going to take your
Mate, I'll
your
go
favourite?
the stock standard, eh?
Yeah. There you go.
Cheers,
There
mate.
and there.
I'll try the berry, I think. Thank you.
Righto. I'll go with my standard chocolate.
Oh, wow.
Good, isn't it?
That's terrific.
Yeah, so we make that on the farm here. So
You got the flavour just right too. Light and fluffy like us, mate. Beautiful. Oh, you're getting a kiss in my ear.
yeah, so this is probably Australia's only camel dairy herringbone design. So you know, the best way to milk a camel is on the side. So this actually puts them on about a 45 degree, and then you've got your cups and you can sort of come through here. So and put your cups on. So each camel keeps the other one over. All this is pretty similar to a cow dairy. The only difference is sort of the pulse rates. So it's in the mechanisms to try and get that expression of milk happening.
If you come to Summerland and do a tour, they will take you through the farm, the dairy and the processing area. They'll talk you through how the products are made here, right on site. It's a well-oiled machine, this farm. This is a lot of stuff that comes from a camel, mate.
Mate, it is. So obviously we come from the dairy, so we got the fresh milk. Skincare, we certainly made, this is sort of the products we made, the soap and the body creams and a bit of anti-aging cream, which will go down well.
How
You're
old are
having
you?
a go there, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm 87.
Conditioner, shampoo, what's that, a hand cream?
Yeah, hand cream.
Body
here.
cream?
Body cream.
I'm not bringing the handbrake here, mate. You go berserk. Look at this.
So only one product of the year this year. So
Did it, the body cream?
Yeah. So it's been really good for eczema, psoriasis, and that type of thing. So yeah, having really good results.
If you're planning some sort of an outback trip, it's a bit like getting a taste of the outback. And these are the most civilised camels I've ever seen in my life. And Summer Land Camel Farm is without a doubt the best organised and sort of most civilised. There goes that word again, only because camels tend to be, very much an outback thing. It's not always civilised out there. I don't mind. But if you want your kids and the wife to get a really good taste of the outback, and good as in, please Dad, can we go out there and see more of it? Well, all of a sudden you've got your excuse for your long-range tank and your twin diff locks, haven't you, Because you need this stuff to go find some more camels. Thank you very much, Paul.
Thanks, guys.
Well done, mate.
It's been incredible.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming out.
Do I look 30 now?
You do. You're getting younger every minute.
How good was that, Gleno?
Who would imagine, well I never imagined, what you could do with a camel and how important they are.
Yeah, too right, mate. That was amazing. And so close to home.
Yeah, how good's that? It's like an hour from home. Bloody brilliant.
With our own camel humps a bit fuller after that visit, we're heading 40 minutes north to set up camp for the night. This is one we've heard great things about, but haven't been to before.
The Wivenhoe Dam camp, even though there's bollards around, it's very spacious, very close to the water. The amenities are sensational.
This is exactly why I love travelling on weekdays. We have this whole place to ourselves. Wivenhoe Dam is so important to us Brisbaneites. It's our main supply of water. It's also a perfect place to come for a swim or kayak, and very popular with families.
That was a beautiful camp last night, wasn't it, Gleno?
Mate, what that sunset was amazing. Great spot over the water, great dinner, good chat around the fire.
That's one of the things I miss the most. You know, some good camp tucker, sitting around with a bunch of mates around a fire, having a couple of cold ones. What a beautiful place to do it.
Ah yeah, get away from all that technology and just get back to nature.
Hey, technology! Leave spring technology over here. Well, mate, we're not far out of Esk and we're in a forest already. You must love this kind of stuff, don't you? Pine forests?
Mate, I've been driving through here going, I'd love to camp here because there's so many pine cones, pine branches lying on the ground. How good would that be for a campfire?
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome, wouldn't it? Well, I don't know where we're going to camp tonight. I've got a bit of an idea. So we'll just follow on through and see what we can find. Now, pine trees aren't native to Australia at all. And you'll find state forests normally, pine tree plantations just about everywhere. Especially here on the east coast where man's been busy for a long time chopping out the native trees. And the reason is because pines grow really quickly, they're relatively straight, they're very easy to knock the bark off and use for all sorts of structural timber purposes. So whereas we have some native timbers that are a whole lot better than that, like turpentine for instance up there on Fraser Island, we don't have a lot of it. This stuff grows real quick, so they whack it in all over the place. No good for the native birds, but it is good for making bollards to keep you out of camping areas, or to keep you away from your vehicle when you're camping.
Look, we're travelling down, it was a dirt road, but it was wide enough to pass on, even with the caravan, and then it got narrower and narrower, and then in front I'm looking, there's a mountain there.
Well mate, the track's narrowed down, looks like it gets narrower up past this next gate, and I think we're going to go climbing a hill here by the look of it.
Oh well, for safety's sake, I might select the low range.
Yeah, I'm going to drop into four-wheel drive, that's for sure. Actually, I'm going to the low range too. There's a couple of steep lumpy bits here.
I've got a 3-ton van behind me. In the car, no dramas. But the lines you got to take with the caravan are completely different. Your car goes wide to get the caravan around so you're not off the track. Mud and sand, no. Loose rock. Yeah, let's try that.
It looks like there's a bit of a hard right-hander up here, mate.
Copy, mate. Well, I'll mosey on slowly behind you, and if there's anything I need to really watch out for, let me know, please.
Sure will. Oh, big bump.
Probably the big bump.
Yeah, it's a little bit uneven on the corner here, but it's a bit of a steep angle on the left too, so inside runs good if you can do it.
Copy, mate. So far, so good.
Roger. It's a tight left-hander after that.
You know on the 200, when things are getting pretty wild, when the traction control goes off, that ticking, ticking, ticking noise. Oh yeah, here we go. Traction control doing its job. So that means the ground underneath my wheels was loose. You know, by the rumble of the V8. It wouldn't be any steeper than this, that's for sure. If it was that steep, the windscreen, up on my dash came the windscreen washer fluid was low.
Ooh, quite rough. Waller's Road in a truck like Milo too, I mean, that's not a drama. I would have engaged four-wheel drive just for the security of it. In fact, that's exactly what I did, but don't need diff locks, don't need any of that stuff. However, all I thought all the way was, Gleno's doing this with a 20-foot van behind him, you know? I mean, we're talking a rig that's as long as a lot of semi-trailers from head to toe, and we're talking hairpins with really badly cambered corners. So all the way up, I was thinking more about him than me, to be honest.
Yeah, you seem really concerned, mate.
It's full on. Come on, do your thing. That's it. No traction control. It's an amazing bit of kit. I'm a very confident full driver. Not much rattles me. This was on the edge of rattling. 3 tonnes, up a hill. There's no use in flogging it up here. You bounce everything around. You risk snapping CVs. If I was starting to go backwards, I was hitting that button. So it was boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Oh, what a great view. I made it to the top of Waller's Road Hill, and it was just a huge relief. But, you know, that's what we do. You throw yourself into these situations, you look back on things like that. You know, once you've done a tough track, the feeling after you've done it is huge.
A bit of fun stuff to end the track, then on to make camp.
Rough and rocky. I'm glad we let a bit of air out of the tyres on the 200. There you go again, Crestbrook Dam, camping. I've never been there. As soon as I got there, I thought, wow, this is great, you know. A little bit overdone with bollards, but the facilities were awesome. The whole scenario, the views, everything. I mean, I'm going back there. It was a great place. Well, I'd like to say this is something different, but it's not really. It's something I did a long, long time ago, and on another trip with Gleno in Tasmania. And it's the first time I tried it, and it worked out really well. This time I'm going to try it with a few more variations. Essentially, this is a quiche, but real men don't eat quiche, so let's just call it a man pie. And while we're at it, we're going to change the ingredients to make it really tasty and really full on.
It's really a quiche, but that's not tough enough. Just a man pie. You can imagine meat, 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 and some more meat.
Let's go. It starts out with a bacon. Bacon is a vegetable. That's what someone told me. I believe them. You know, not one person in the world is allergic to bacon. How do I know that? I don't really. But if you find that person, tell them to stay away from my cooking segments. And because Gleno's on the chopping, I've got 2 bowls of bacon. I've also got these. These are potato gems. But these guys can start in there, I reckon. So basically the trick is here, fry up the bacon, get some heat into the potato. We've also got some sausage. Now this is sausage. It's really good. I think it might be the Camel sausage, yeah. And over here we've got a fairly hot pepperoni. That's going in too. What I want you to know about this is it doesn't really matter the order that you cook this stuff in, other than I'm going to be frying up some onion, and the onion fried with bacon will absorb the flavour. I'll tell you what, Gleno, there's a lot of heat in that sausage. It's cooking and I'm coughing. Oh. Okay, so at this stage we've got broccoli chopped up. It's green stuff. You find it in vegetable shops. Don't worry about it if you can't find it. It's only there for the colour. We've got potato gems. We've got our hot sausage, and then we've got bacon and onion over here going flat out. Awesome mix. At this stage, The bacon's nicely cooked, the onion's cooked, so that is all going into the big pan. There we go. Get all of it in. I'm going to stir this up, and as you do this, you'll notice that the potato gems start to break up, and the broccoli breaks up, and the sausage breaks up, and all. It doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter, because you've got the flavour in there. In goes the eggs. I've whisked them up. There we go. So I'm just giving this a quick stir. Now normally I would just do this in a fry pan, and I'd make enough quantities for just, you know, me and the break, or me and the kids, or something like that. I've kind of overdone it a bit tonight. What a good thing. The final thing is some cheese. I'm just going to put a nice swathe of cheese on top, just enough. Don't want it too thick, but I want enough in there so I can't see the ingredients. And then we're going to put it over there, put some hot coals on the lid. It'll be messy, but it'll be awesome. Good coals. Oh, mate, I think this is done. Come and give it a go, Gleno. We'll see how we go. Here we go. Oh, I don't believe it, it's worked perfectly.
That looks splendid.
Can I get you to taste it, please, kind sir?
You can interest me in that.
There we go. Now, you're never going to describe that as a quiche, are you? That's because it's not. It's a man pie. It's only a little bit there, Glenn. I'll just, a little bit more maybe, eh? Come on, give that a waffle. Tell me what you reckon. And we only gave that about 15 minutes because basically everything was cooked when it went in there. So it was really just about melting the cheese.
That is so freaking amazing.
Oh, wow. It's like you went down to your favourite fish and chip shop and they had bacon and salami and pepperoni and cheese. So let's go and hit the fire.
Man food.
Man food.
Well done, mate.
Man pie. I like it.
We've woken up to a thick cloud cover, but typical of Queensland climate, it's still t-shirt weather. This morning, the Bush TV had an entertaining show of roos, and we enjoyed it while throwing down a couple of coffees. Eventually, it was time to pack up and keep moving. We're heading north towards Blackbutt.
Tall trees everywhere, beautifully maintained roads in most sections, and the history on the place. John gave the talk about, you know, the trees and the area and how far it spread.
Do you know what?
What?
The one thing I don't know is why the town's called Blackbutt, apart from the fact that the timber getter's name for these trees is Blackbutt, and that might be enough. Maybe that's where it comes from. But around here we got Blackbutt, Yarraman, you know, there's a bunch of towns within Cooey.
Banarkin.
Banarkin, good one, yeah, Banarkin. Banarkin's actually a throw-off from Blackbutt, I know that. And it's essentially timber country. It's been gold country, and I know there's mines up at Yarraman, but basically it's because of these Blackbutt trees, because they are fantastic hardwood. The timber getters love them because they're reasonably quick to regenerate, you know, and the wood is awesome. In the old days, they used to use them for railway sleepers. It's an awesome timber, it really is. And this whole region was settled, I think, in the 1840s, and it was by one family, the Scott family, and eventually they decided, you know, people are moving in, and obviously one family doesn't want to live on its own, so they actually gave the local people the land to build the town of Blackbutt.
All right.
Yeah. And before long, you know, because you got timber and gold in the 1860s, 70s and everything else, all of a sudden you've got people wanting to punch in a railway line, you've got police, you've got a school, you've got beginnings of everything. This is Googa State Forest, named after Googa Creek.
Googa.
Googa got to go to Googa. It's awesome, isn't it? I'll tell you what, you know, it started out just fairly loosely forested, but it's turned into heavy rainforest really quick.
Yeah, it certainly has. It's starting to narrow up.
I reckon there's a lot of vines and all sorts of things happening around here. I reckon you're going to be testing out your caravan skills again today, mate.
Yeah, copy that. And yeah, I'm just watching out for overhanging stuff. That van is probably a good 3.2 high, I'd say.
I think Googa State Forest, it's one of those places where it doesn't look big on the map, but when you get in there, it's a whole warren of big. And not only that, it's one of those parks where things change really rapidly. One minute you're in thick rainforest, then you're dropping down to a little bit of a creek, and there's stuff going on all over the place. But I got the overwhelming feeling there that this is a park that hasn't been well looked at for a long time. I'm not talking about well looked after, just well looked at. There wasn't much in the way of broaches into the bush to go exploring, you know.
Well, this is not perfect for a caravan, but we don't do perfect. There's a hole on the other side, a washaway, which I think is probably not going to be too bad. I'm going to get John to watch it. But then once it cleared, the left-hand side clears that, then we've got this. Yeah. So I'm going to have to negotiate slowly. I suppose the benefit, we've got two wheels on the caravan that can equalise.
Yeah.
One goes down, the other one's still holding up. So,
Well, sometimes we take offshoot roads because, you know, as the crow flies, that's where you want to go. It becomes difficult at times with a 3-ton van on the back because it's wider, and when the tracks are narrow, not cool.
Yeah, good. Coming up to it now. First tyre's in the rut, but it's holding. Back tyre's holding it up. Yeah, you're good. Just the other side now, mate.
All right, do you mind watching the other side now for us? Well, after I got through that, when I was over the top of the right-hand one, that was, I'm stopping here. We need to rethink this.
I don't know if I like this, mate.
Nah,
Maybe we need to chuck something.
We'll need to build that up, I think, mate. Otherwise, the van's going off the side and car going with it. He came up with a great solution. We got the shovel, filled it in a little bit, as much as we could to level it out, and threw some traction aids under there. 4 of them, 4 thick, 3-ton van.
Righto.
Once I was on the mats, it was like foot down, get out of here. I wasn't hanging around.
heart in your mouth moments while it's happening. After it's done, you look back on those ones and go, how good was that? Banarkan State Forest used to be brimming with ironbark, but years of unregulated timber getting, along with numerous fires started on the rail line, have led to a massive decline in the forest.
Travelling through the week, you know, obviously not on school holidays, these camps you come across, there's not many people, if anyone. We come across Emu Creek and there was nobody there. It was at Banarkan. It was actually at Banarkan, I believe, that one.
I'm not normally a praiser of national parks campsites, you know, but the guys have been doing a really good job. It's better and better and better. Maybe in their own way, they're doing their thing to encourage people to get out in the bush. And if so, then it's about time, but thank you very much, man. The only thing I'd like to add to that is Emu Creek. Has anyone got any idea how many Emu Creeks there are in Australia? Because I was thinking about it when we got there. I know of at least 12. So I'm wondering whether we shouldn't have a competition, you know, to see how many emu creeks there are in Australia. And the winner gets a pallet of emu lager. Can we do that? Over the years, I've done lots of work all over the country, this kind of work, you know, going out, travelling, filming, and it's amazing, it's awesome. But DustEmUp has always been about reality. That's what we've tried to do all the way through. This is stuff that you can do, that you can take your kids on. It's not all about finding an impossibly hard hill when there's a track just over there that'll get you there anyway. We like to take on reality, and probably the most pleasure you can have in life is to go camping on weekends not too far from home. Just in this trip alone, we have yet to go more than maybe 250 k's from where I live, and yet I've managed to discover all sorts of country, just backtracks and fresh campsites and places I've never seen. And that, at the end of the day, is how much you can fit into a weekend of adventuring. But you get out of the city into the bush, get some kangaroos running around and some kookaburras waking you up, and all of a sudden you've got the perfect Australian experience. And I guess at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
After a simple breakfast recipe, I got you covered here. Omelets in a bag. You may have seen this before. If not, watch this. This is cool. Chop up your tomato, your onion, your ham, your sausage, or chop up some cheese or get some grated cheese. You can throw anything.
Well, when I told Gleno about the omelette in a bag trick, the whole idea was that you've got some little button mushrooms and kale and perhaps some chopped lettuce and, you know, obviously 100% healthy ingredients. But as soon as Gleno got hold of the idea, out came the cabanossi and the sausage and I thought, yep, fair enough. As long as he stops at the Maltesers and the Smarties, we'll be all right.
Our secret ingredient today came from the Camel Farm, Persian feta. It's so greasy I can't even open it. What'd you do to this, John? Gleno likes a bit of onion. Gleno likes a bit of tomato. Definitely likes the sausage. Heap of ham, good chunk of ham. Then get some cheese, heaps of cheese. Heaps of cheese. Now ready for some eggs. Back edge of the knife. Okay, we've got another one. Zip him up, not all the way. Get the air out of him. Mix that egg in there. Get all the ingredients mixed up. Simmering water. Put your timer on. 8 minutes on this. Come back, have a look.
Do you know what? It's an awesome trick. It never ceases to amaze me how good an omelette can be when it's cooked in a plastic bag.
That looks really good.
Mate, that looks really good too.
I'm gonna have a crack.
All right, here we
Bit of
go.
barbie sauce on mine.
Oh, mate, that was a lovely camp last night, wasn't it?
Oh, beautiful. A nice little nightcap to go with it, with the old Froy. Sort of put everybody in a nice mood.
Lefroy whiskey. Oh, crikey. Get them on as sponsors, mate. That was awesome. Well, we're going to try and find a back way through to Ratton. Could be interesting, eh? I've never been to Ratton National Park. We'll see what it's like.
Is that Ratton with a W?
Yeah. I don't know the history on it, but by the time we get there, I'll have worked it out, I hope. We'll see.
The backtrack way sounds fun, mate. We've done it all the way to here. Let's keep doing it.
There was something about this sign that was calling our name.
We are right in the main street of Blackbutt, And we're at the cafe, and you'll know which cafe because it's a cafe bar and it's got timber out the front. And get a load of this. This is, the locals call this Stonehenge. It's all blue gum, and in here we've got pretty much every type of wood you can think of that's come out of this region. So if you don't know what you're doing, come in and get one of the locals to give you a bit of a lesson on the different timbers around the place. Mate, we're going to go have a look at Glastonbury camping area.
Cool, mate. Bit of a cool road to get in here.
Yeah, didn't the country change? This is beautiful.
You know, I did a count today from the camel farm,
Yep.
about 550 kilometres,
Is that all?
44 of it on the bitumen.
Now, we are lucky, you know, like we live in Queensland. But hey, we say that, it's a little bit of a joke really. You Victorians, you've got the high country right there. You know, you've got the peninsula, you've got all this wonderful country. Adelaide, oh, how much bush have you got within close? I mean, the town is little, the bush is huge. Perth, yeah, I know, you've got to travel if you want a little bit of difference, but it's all there. Where have we left out? Sydney. Well, you know, we've got to leave Sydney out, haven't we? No, we don't.
Well, we did that at 9 and 10, didn't we?
Yeah, we
That was
did.
unreal.
There's
Out-
some awesome stuff
out
out
Mittagong.
Because, you know, I know we do it a little bit tough, especially we mate Gleno in the big zone back here.
I don't know how I do it.
Like here at DustEmUp, I'm used to travelling 1,000, 2,000 kilometres to start our trip. Way out west, down south, up north. An hour and a half out of Brisbane we started our journey. That was the most bitumen I did. The rest was state forests, national parks, dirt roads everywhere to all these magnificent campsites. You don't have to go too far from home. I'd missed all this, travelling all around Australia. Australia's beautiful, but our own backyard, there's some gold in there.
It's funny, isn't it? Because here in Australia, whenever we think of four-wheel drive trekking, we start thinking about taking 2, 3, 4 weeks off work to go and do it. And sometimes for a whole lot of people, that can mean postponing everything until you can do that. Well, it's wrong. And this trip proves it. We've done maybe 500 Ks from start to finish, and we've experienced so much different bush, so many different tracks, a whole bunch of different campsites. And I feel as if I've had just a major outback holiday experience. Yeah, get out there, just get out there.
Day one, scene one.
An apple a day keeps the Nissans away.
Well, that was certainly a long camel ride, but won't be able to walk for a week. Do I look 30 now?
You do. You're getting younger every minute.
I love getting lost in the bush, it's just beautiful. Did I say I was lost? Might be. Oh,
That's for belting the cameraman.
nice shovel.
I'm on and rolling.
I better put a hat on because, hell, I'm ugly without one.
Every little sucker.
I think it is. I mean, they've got the bloody detergent on it.
Woohoo! Good looking.
Day two, scene two.
How did it know I needed this?
We might need that in a minute.
That could have been a caravan on its side. Which is not good because that's my bed.
Scene two.
What a great view. Now I've got the van up here, we should stay here. Good camp spot. And I'll gather my nerves back together.
Whoa, shocked myself.